100% Chance of Wine, sponsored by The Lodge at Columbia Point.
Tell me more about the name and how you came up with that.
Longship, yeah. So when I was 14, I had a trip to California to see one of my aunts, and she happened to be the keeper of the family book that I knew nothing about. So I sat down with her and my cousins, and she's like, this is where all your family came from, and it traced back to a little homestead in Norway. And ever since then, I've been very into that part of our heritage, and I never was before. So when it came time to name the winery, that was one of the first things that came to mind. Let's make it about, you know, who we are, where we came from, and kind of honor those people as well. Mm-hmm. You know, make it about the family. My last name is Welch, and I wouldn't put that on a wine bottle. Right. Just the grape juice jokes wouldn't stop.
Exactly.
So yeah, we went with that. And for me, you know, I love branding. I was a business major, kind of focused on marketing, so I like to play with, you know, labels, icons, you know, fanciful names. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, all of our wines kind of tell a unique story about either someone in our family or a weird part of our personality. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So if you look at the labels, there's something different on each label.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For instance, like Tempranillo, we call invader because that's how I see Tempranillo in Washington, is like the invader of the vineyards, because you're going to start seeing more plantings once you taste it. Yeah. You know? And then like the Ginger Man is our Syrah, and those were our first two wines. And the Syrah is named after my brother Jeff because he has an orange beard, so we call him the Ginger Man.
And then on the back it says "Beware the Ginger Man" because it's his older brother.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's appropriate.
So they might not make sense when you look at the label, but they might entice some questions.
Right.
And that's what we like.
So you have some people asking, okay, where did this come from?
Right.
I'm sure you get that a lot here in the tasting room.
Yeah, we do. And it's fun to tell the story. And it's cool because people will relate to different stories about the wines, and they, you know, and that's neat because then they fall in love with how it tastes, but then they fall in love with the story behind it too.
So now you guys have a new tasting room. Well, they've expanded your tasting room, I
Definitely.
should say. So people if they haven't been in quite a while, they should head back and see what's happening here.
Absolutely. It's a lot more spacious, a lot more comfortable. And
yeah, when we opened our tasting room, we didn't really, know what we were doing. We've never done it before. And so we have, higher tables, bar stools, and people, wanted a comfier place to sit. And so it's awesome that we actually have more space now. And so we put in comfy couches and chairs and a big community style table. And it's really fun to watch people come in who've been, with us the last 2.5, 3 years, and they're just floored by coming in and seeing more space, and it's good. It feels good.
Yeah. Any other plans that you guys see coming up for you guys?
Well, we've been trying to find our own production facility for a while.
Okay.
So a great way to start out in the wine industry is to get licensed in someone else's building, and try to save some of those costs and put it towards making a better product, and that's kind of the way that we went. But now we're getting to the size and scope that we're looking at needing our own building, and that's a challenge in this.
Right. So you want to continue to make or add on more wines to what you already do?
Or at least, if not more varietals, then just more of what we have, definitely.
How has that been for you, though, as far as managing and dealing with all those?
It's been great. It's been a learning and building experience for me. Last year I had to have my first harvest intern, so I had to start training and just trying to figure out how to train, because it's a lot harder than, or at least for some people like me. But I like to train by showing and not as much talking, so that's always a challenge. But just learning how to manage people and to give things away, because it's your baby, and that's been the hardest part, is just having to learn how to trust other people to do what you would do.
Right.
Because it is an art and a science, and your life's work. So, but it's been really rewarding to be able to train and show people how to do things, how to run a winery. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And so, being in the tasting room, do you find that people kind of go towards one wine versus the other, that they might have maybe a little bit of favorite, or what are your thoughts on that?
It totally depends on the day, on the people.
Really?
Yeah, we'll see one day one wine will sell, we'll sell a ton of it, and the other wines we won't sell as many, but then it'll change to the next day. But yeah, it's really cool to have so many varieties for people to offer, or to have, and it's cool. We do a lot of tasting pairing events where we will pair like chocolate or cheese or Girl Scout cookies with wines.
Off-the-wall kind of stuff.
Off-the-wall kind of things.
Yeah.
We have a popcorn one in December that's phenomenal. It's my favorite. But it's cool because it's fun to create an experience for people to try the wine and then try the product, the popcorn, whatever, and then try the wine again and see how it changes.
Right.
And that's been super fun to do over the last couple of years. And so we do, I think we're, like our chocolate one, we'll be doing our 4th one next year, and it's cool because people come back and get to try it and try new wines with the chocolates.
And the pairings are really fun because, you know, chocolate and wine, it's really like the weirdest flavored chocolate you can find.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll buy, you know, like campfire chocolate, you know, like s'mores is pretty basic, but there's some other ones like
bacon.
firecracker or bacon infused chocolate. So we order all this chocolate and sit down and try to pair them all with our wines. And I think for people to come in and see that you can have wine with everyday things and not necessarily, you know, a fancy dinner, you know, that's the kind of stuff we like.
Yeah, because wine is fun and it should be approachable, and we like to create that experience here.